Mick Schumacher has cut ties with Ferrari and he will be leaving the Ferrari Drivers Academy at the end of this season, and I'll explain why this is important for his future in Formula 1. There's also rumors that Pierre Gasly may join Alpine, while AlphaTauri is interested in IndyCar star Colton Herta. And we may see the return of some popular drivers in the grid in 2023. Earlier this week, we received some news that Mick Schumacher has cut ties with Ferrari and that he will be leaving the Ferrari Drivers Academy at the end of this year. So this means that Mick Schumacher will become a free agent at the end of the season. And the reason that he would do this is because, again, there's rumors, but most likely he would not be staying at Haas since the team isn't happy with his performance. Cutting ties with Ferrari means that he wouldn't need approval from them if he wants to join any other team that is not powered by Ferrari. It seems like being part of the Ferrari Drivers Academy isn't beneficial to him anymore. Ferrari now has long contracts with Leclerc and Sainz. Alfa Romeo has contracts with Bottas, and most likely they will re-sign Joe. And Haas doesn't want to re-sign them. So all the teams that are powered by Ferrari are not interested with Mick or have contracts with other drivers. And if he is interested in joining any other team on the grid, his ties to Ferrari would be a compromise instead of a benefit. So why would Haas not want to re-sign Mick Schumacher? And it's pretty easy. He hasn't been performing. He has only scored points in 2 occasions with a total of 12 points, putting him in 15th place in the Drivers' Championship compared to his teammate Kevin Magnussen, who is 11th in the Drivers' Championship and who has scored 22 points. And again, let's remember, Kevin Magnussen has not been in the grid since 2020. And the team isn't happy that Mick has been crashing the car multiple times during the year, which has cost the team millions of dollars in a season where the budget cap is extremely important for the development of the car. I'll speculate on where Mick could go and who would replace him a bit later in the video, since that is more of a guessing game and a bit less accurate. Over the Belgian Grand Prix weekend, some rumors emerged saying that there's a possibility that Pierre Gasly could join Alpine, with IndyCar star Colton Herta joining AlphaTauri for the 2023 F1 season. Although there hasn't been a public decision on the Alpine and Piastri situation, it's understood that Alpine is moving on and looking for a different replacement for Fernando Alonso, and it seemed likely that Fernando Alonso's replacement would be Daniel Ricciardo, but apparently there's many members in the senior board at Alpine that aren't really happy with the idea of Daniel returning to the team since he left Alpine, or Renault at the time, after 2 years for McLaren, the same team that has just dropped him. Even though Gasly has an existing contract with AlphaTauri, it seems like the team isn't against releasing Gasly from their contract since they are interested in a different driver. Alpine would receive a driver that we all know is highly rated, and they would also have an all-French lineup in their French team. The problem with this rumor, saying that Gasly would leave to Alpine and that AlphaTauri would sign Colton Herta, is that Colton Herta doesn't have enough super license points. To keep the video from getting super complicated, all we need to know right now is that you need 40 super license points to be able to compete in Formula 1. The problem is that Colton Herta only has 32. If Red Bull would want Colton Herta to race for them, they are allowed to ask the FIA for an exemption. I will acknowledge the fact that if Red Bull wanted to get Colton Herta to 40 super license points, they technically would be able to, but the measures that they would have to take are so drastic that it is basically unlikely that they would take this route. In other words, Colton Herta could race in Formula 1 if the FIA grants him an exception, which is at the moment unknown if they would do that, since he has already won 7 races in IndyCar and he has competed in multiple seasons, so it's not like he doesn't have any experience. As promised, let's see where Mick could go and who could replace him. So at the moment, it is rumored that Haas will replace Mick Schumacher with Antonio Giovinazzi. At the moment, Giovinazzi also has a practice session with Haas later in the year, and Giovinazzi's connections with Ferrari would also make him a likely candidate to replace Mick Schumacher. So now where can Mick go? Well, it's going to be hard to get a seat in F1 at the moment. He could go to Williams, but Williams is also rumored to have a driver like Nico Hülkenberg. He can't go to Alfa Romeo since it's likely that they will sign Joe. he could possibly go to Alpine, but why would Alpine sign him if they have the option of signing Daniel Ricciardo or even the option of signing Pierre Gasly? So that really leaves kind of one seat open, and that would be AlphaTauri. Yuki hasn't been performing either this year, so there's a possibility that Schumacher can replace Yuki or Gasly, but there isn't really any rumors connecting Mick to AlphaTauri. But again, all this is speculation, and that's why I left it for the end of the video. So who knows? Alright, so that's it for me today. Please let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of the whole Schumacher situation and where he can end up. And what do you guys think also of Colton Herta joining Formula 1 and Gasly maybe going to Alpine? If you haven't already, like and subscribe, and I will be here later. It's also race week.